Greetings YouTube. Today we're looking at a handmade knife by an outsider, an amateur. This is a camp knife or a hunting knife, it's supposed to be. And I picked this up at a antique shop for 23 bucks. Now the sheath is handmade and it's in horrible condition. Anyone out there knows how to get mildew and stuff off of a leather sheath without ruining it and how to recondition it, tell me, because I know nothing about reconditioning leather. Particularly this is an open grain. That was a bad idea in my book. But yeah, so not the best shape, but it does work, and I'm not really confident how well it holds it though. I mean, it fits in there. Fits in there. And it's not even fitting all the way, you know what I mean? So it's not a good enough. And I'm not using the sheath at all. And I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Now I have to wash this blade again because I don't trust what the heck is ever in that inside that sheath. Well, this is an amateur knife. The person that made this had some talent. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they had some talent. They used a thin piece of steel. I don't know what it is, but from the patina, and there was a little bit of surface rust on here, I think it is actually some kind of carbon steel. They did a really nice job with shaping the handle. It's very comfortable. I don't have overly large hands. I find this a very comfortable knife to hold. This is some kind of hardwood. I mean, this is, let me see if I get it. It's a very dense hardwood. I don't know what it is. I don't know enough about wood to tell you. They used brass liners. Oh, here's a cat. Here's a cat to help me with my video. Yes, she is. Yes, she's going to help me with the video. I wish you wouldn't help me when I have a knife in my hand. But they used brass liners, which is something you don't see. Meow, meow, meow. Yes, meow. Here you go. Sorry about that. But you don't even see that in some commercial knives. And they went to the effort of putting brass liners in there so the person understood knives. They used brass screws with brass nuts and they fit them themselves. It's not perfect. This side is very smooth. This is nice. This side is not perfect. It is a little bit raised, but that's okay. This comes to a nice point right there. They did a good job with that. Now they could have just made this blade straight. If they had just gone shunk and then had this shape, it would have still been fine. If they'd just gone straight and then had this curve, it would have been fine for an amateur knife. But they took the effort to put this curve in here and then this S-curve. It's subtle. I freely admit this. But that was an effort they didn't need to go to. They did it because they found it aesthetically pleasing and because they liked it. They know that there are knives out there. That's the look that those knives have, and they wanted to emulate that. It kind of makes me think of a very, very subtle Persian design. I'm really impressed with that. But what gets me the most is this edge. This edge is a perfect convex grind. Absolutely came out of the sheath, and it was in. I had to hone this on a diamond 4 or 5 strokes, and it was perfect. There is ever so slight burr over here, which I couldn't quite get off. I would just move it back and forth, and I didn't want to push it. I didn't want to harm this edge. I didn't want to harm this edge because this thing is an incredible slicer. This thing slices like nobody's business. Since I purchased this knife and cleaned it and honed it, I have used no other knife to cut my food with when it comes to preparing food. And I have a chicken breast every single day for breakfast because I'm trying to lose weight. Successfully, my dad. That was a cat scampering, sorry. Successfully, my dad. I've actually lost about 25 pounds. But, so I cut a chicken breast every single morning. And this thing is just a dream to cut. Cuts vegetables well as well. My wife said, well, it doesn't cut that great. I said, did you slice or did you chop? She said, what kind of chopped? Yo, don't chop. This is not a chopper. This is a slicer. Slice with this, and you are going to have no complaints. This person, and I'm going to say guy just because it's probably a guy that made this. This guy knows his edges. Whether he knows them because he studied knives or he knows them because he's used enough of them just to have an intuitive idea of what he likes in a knife edge, and I don't know which, and I don't care. He did an incredible job with this edge. I love this knife. I use it every day. It is just so nice. I'm going to take care of this thing and keep it forever. And if anybody can tell me how to care and take care of this horrible looking sheath, that would be cool too. I'm not married to the sheath. This has been living in my kitchen drawer. But yeah, just so pretty. And such a good slicer. I wouldn't really count this as like a hunting knife. I might consider this a great camp food prep knife. So if you're taking this to prepare the food in camp, okay, absolutely, I would buy that. But as far as a hunting knife, I think it's way too thin. You wouldn't. It's. I don't think it's durable enough for your classic camping hunting carry. I would never want a baton with this thing. Let's put it that way. This is designed for slicing food, and it does that job expertly. And I would love to shake the hand of the guy that made this because he knew what he was doing and he did an excellent job. And it breaks my heart that some family didn't cherish this thing and it ended up in an antique shop, probably passed from one person to the next, or even got pulled out of a house being, emptied because somebody died and no one thought this was of worth. That's heartrending to me. This thing is beautiful and I love it. And I wish the people who had been related to the maker had valued it as much as I'm going to. So there you go, folks. This has been my poetic review, my love of this knife, about a camp knife that I bought in an antique shop.